Code review is one of the tasks engineers and software developers spend most of their hours working on. And doing a good code review means you will catch issues in time and you will share knowledge and collaborate successfully with your teammates. In this video, we will go through what is a code review and why it's important. And I will share how I personally review code to effectively collaborate and foster growth in my team. Hi, I'm Laura and I'm a self-taught software engineer. I've worked in software for a big part of the last decade, and I do code reviews almost every day in my job. Today, I want to share the basics with you. What is a code review? What do you need to do in order to do a good code review yourself? And I will share my own process and the mantras I use to do a good code review every day and be kind with my teammates. The reason that we need code reviews is because when you're working on a software with a team, when a teammate of yours has a change that they want to integrate into the big software, they will make a change proposal. So it's basically saying, hey, I've made these changes. Can you please check them and let me know if they are good? The purpose of a code review, or when you review the code of another teammate, is to first ensure code health. You want to make sure that the code that is merged is maintainable, is readable, is testable, and is stable. You want to catch bugs early before consumers see them. Very importantly is to increase team collaboration and shared knowledge, because that means everyone knows what are the changes that are being introduced to the product, the responsibilities that you have when you are reviewing someone else's code. I like to think of it as you're not an evaluator, but as a reviewer, you share the responsibility and the ownership of the code that you're reviewing. And if you approach a code review like this, I assure you the outcomes will be much better than if you're treating it as an evaluation where you're trying to find mistakes of another person or trying to show how much you know more than them. As a general guideline, I would always try to make sure that the code is well designed, functionality is correct, and it's doing what we need, and that the code is well documented and readable. And finally, I always like to think as a user. So are there any edge cases that we're missing here that would take us into the types of feedback that you can give as a reviewer? Specifically on code, you will do a lot of comments on each individual line of code of the person. So the first one would be changes suggestion. You would point out problems that you see, or you are providing direct guidance or ideas on how to solve them. Then you might have more like optional comments, and this is where you think something might be a good idea to do it differently, but you don't have like a strong opinion, or it will not change the outcome of your approval of this pull request. Then you have minor comments, or also known as nitpicking. So here you're saying to the author, hey, this is my comment, but I'm honestly fine if you don't address it at all. And then, very importantly, there are question comments, where you don't understand something, ask questions, try to understand what's happening, and try to understand the intent of the author. After the comments, you will need to make a choice. Will you approve these changes, or will you request some changes from the author? So basically, if you request some changes, you're saying, I think there's something clearly wrong with the changes, or something that needs to be addressed before we can merge it. If you don't see any big issues, what you will usually do is to approve these changes, and that's what you should do if you think the changes are good enough. Most of the time, the changes will not be 100% perfect, but they will be good enough. Now, I would go a bit more into what I actually do when I'm reviewing a pull request, like in my day-to-day job. The first thing I will do is I will read the description of the changes. Then I will actually start looking at the code, get an idea of what are the files that are being changed, what's like the main architecture of the change. And usually if I skim the PR and I don't see a very big issue, this will mean that I will most probably approve and leave some comments. On the other hand, if I'm concerned about something, or if I don't understand specifically what's happening, I will probably go deeper into the PR, check it on my computer, check the code more detail to understand what's happened. At this point, I will probably ask some questions to the author, either as a comment or personally through chat or something, just to understand what's their intent and why did they do things in this way and not in another. Finally, when I think I have a clear picture of the changes and what I think could be improved, I will just leave my comments on the change request, and I will either approve the request changes or just leave a comment. And usually if I request changes, I will also write to the author personally, and I will offer that we have a call, or that we think together on how we can make the changes better if I think there's like a big room for improvement there. And if I see there's nothing wrong, I will thank the author. I will also point out the good things that they did, what I liked of the PR, and I will approve it, and the changes can be merged. Finally, I want to share with you something that I try to do every time I review a pull request, is that I have a code review mantra. So I have like a set of principles that I always try to read and remind myself before I jump into reviewing someone's code. It can be easy to get in the everyday work, like I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that, and you treat code reviewing just like a checklist on your work day. When I read this mantra, it reminds me of what's important and how to be kind and how to make the code review something that serves our team. It's just 4 very simple points that I will read right now. The first one is, we are in this together. My goal is to collaborate with the author to find the best possible solution and not to win the code review. Second, I seek understanding first. I will not assume, I will ask. I trust that the author made thoughtful decisions and I want to understand the reasoning behind them. Every review is a chance to learn. This is an opportunity for mutual growth, for me to learn from the author and for the author to learn from my perspective. I want to prioritize kindness over correctness. In the grand scheme of things, these changes are small. What matters is treating each other with respect and helping the team grow together. That's how I do code reviews and how I foster collaboration and kindness in my team. Let me know in the comments if this was useful for you or how you personally do it, and see you next time.